From secret rooms to strange and creepy things, this video will seem mysterious, mystical, and will confirm that in the basements you can hide the most sinister, intimate things, hidden secrets and old memories. It is also the most popular habitat for ghosts and different entities, so get ready, you will be in wild horror and delight from what you see. So, 10 scary things in the basement filmed on camera. The author of this video, Jonathan, and a friend are exploring a basement in a multi-story building, a place that is truly intimidating and old. The guy is sure that something scary can be found in this place. In the center of the room is a large cedar wood box. In this box there is a door with a lock that opens only from the outside. A tube sticks out of a mysterious box through which air is applied to someone. And when Jonathan opens it,
this is what it is. It is a small room with chairs. It's nothing.
He finds a small sweaty room. They could have kept someone in custody here, and apparently could not find it for a long time. Looking at the scratches on the inside of the wooden block, someone really wanted to get out of here. This is frightening. Holes are caught in these holes that really resemble human nails sticking.
There's scratch marks. There are legit scratch marks. There are scratch marks. Fresh air could still come in, but you couldn't get your hand up there. Right there.
To summarize, a box was found in which people could well have been kept. Outside this box, there's a stool on which someone could well sit and enjoy the torment of a helpless man who was screaming trying to get out of there. There is also a microwave for warming up food for the prisoner, and another scary thing. The scariest thing of all. What happened to the people who were kept there? It becomes clear when the guys stumble upon an old stove, which you can see that it has been used a lot. I think when the torment over a person ended, they put him in this furnace and burned.
What in the world?
A guy named Klaus finds something scary in his basement. He even set up several surveillance cameras to try and capture the new inhabitant of the basement. It all started when he found eerie long skin hanging from the wall in his basement. You can see where the snake used 2 stones to remove the old skin.
Ladies and gentlemen, that right there is a big snake. And it's somewhere in my basement.
Snakes often enter the basement through cracks and even through drains. As soon as they get to you, you urgently need to call specialists, otherwise it could threaten your life. This video was shot on a mobile phone by a guy named Gary. He captured a very strange event that happened in his basement. The video begins with the author hearing knocking sounds coming from the basement. Gary at that moment was in the kitchen. He turns the camera and captures the frightened girl. The author of the video turns on the light above the stairs and begins to descend into the basement. His dog barks at loud noises coming from the basement. And the man stops halfway in front of the dark basement entrances. Gary tries to find out what's going on there. What happens next leads you to a stupor.
Hello? Oh my God!
We hear the sounds of loud footsteps, as if something invisible is climbing the stairs very quickly.
Мужчина молниеносно.
A man named Jamie found something in his house and decided that it needed to be investigated. He was interested in the hatch located in one of the rooms, but he lacked the courage to open it. He hired a foreman who was supposed to do this work, and no one knew what could be there. Whenever guests came to the house, they were surprised by the strange arrangement of the table. It seemed that he was opening some kind of secret door. What was hidden behind her? It was clear to everyone that the owner was afraid to open the door himself. He could be afraid of what was lurking below. I wonder if he woke up at night thinking what might be there. As soon as he opened the door, it became clear that he had been avoiding this place for years. Unwilling to kill all the spiders, he just dispersed them. When he looked into the depths, he could not help but think about what is in her unknown. He illuminated the abyss with a lantern. There were empty walls, a smell of rotting iron pipes. It turned out that there was some kind of mucus in the corner of the room. What it can be, and whether it is dangerous. Unwilling to touch anything with his bare hands, the man decided to take a long stick. He could not understand what kind of substance it was, and where it came from. He could only imagine how long this slime had been in the room. He had lived in this house for many years. Really all this was always under the house. Whatever it was, but in places around the edges, roots even began to grow. But there was absolutely no light here. This basement could be a refrigerator or bunker. It was then that he noticed a strange hole in the back wall of the room. Having illuminated the far corner of the room with a flashlight, the man saw what stopped him. There was a pile of ash in front of him. It looked strange, since there was no stove here. That also burned down here. Japan with such a long history and rich culture, and when it comes to spirits and ghosts, it is not surprising that there are many videos of mystical phenomena in this country. In this video, a man is exploring an abandoned building somewhere in Japan. We can see an abandoned building that is in disrepair. Here is the moment when the author shows the broken hole that leads into the basement of the building. At first it seems that it is a small ball of light, but if you play back the footage in slow motion, then something ominous becomes visible. In the dark, you can trace the clear outlines of a face with two bright orange eyes peeping out of the darkness of the basement. Here is the same frame where I added some brightness. Now you can clearly see the pale face looking directly into the operator's camera. The shape of the face resembles that of a man. But grayish skin and ghoulish eyes take the form of something from the other world. In the city of Phoenix, Arizona, there is a long, abandoned restaurant. Once an ordinary extreme blogger climbed into this abandoned building and went down to the basement. He discovered a terrifying find, like a scene from a horror movie. Creepy dolls were placed along a large table, as in Leonardo da Vinci's famous painting The Last Supper. Also, this building was once an old department store. But nobody knows who put the dolls there. And most importantly, why, and why. A guy named Advil is an unhappy person who seems to have something creepy going on in the basement. While resting at home, he begins to hear voices coming from the very bottom floor of his house. At the top of the stairs, he calls out that voice.
Hello? I'm gonna turn on the light. Alright?
Warning him that he was going to turn on the light. Then he bravely heads to the basement, intending to make contact with the source of the sound. The operator moves the camera around the darkened room, while continuing to summon the entity. Then, when he wants to leave, the glass cabinet starts to move on its own. With an alarming movement, the man quickly dodges, in order to get out of there as quickly as possible.
Whoa, Jesus!
After 2 days, he also posted another video on the internet. Apparently the same ghost moved the closet in the basement. I haven't finished my shenanigans yet. Hello. This video starts the same way as the previous one. When he calls out to the essence, an eerie whisper comes from the darkness.
I heard some noises again! Hello?
Then a moment later, a dark figure passes through the doorway, very difficult to see at first. However, if you zoom in and lighten the frames, you can clearly see that there is really a dark shape at the bottom. What do you think about this? Write in the comments below the video. Hello. This creepy photo of Mickey Mouse in the basement is probably one of the scariest and most inexplicable. I really wanted to find information about this picture on the internet, but after a long search, I still cannot explain who published this image and where it was first posted in general. I can say one thing. This mysterious figure is one of the most mysterious that I have seen in the basement. The disguised man in Mickey Mouse looks over 2 meters tall. Having moved to his new home, the Australian noticed that the lying carpet was sticking out somehow. Under the carpet, he found the facade, under which the secret room was hidden. He entranced to this eerie room was nailed up. The man plucked up courage and broke the passage and went downstairs. What was inside was shaking everyone. The underground room was full of old frames from under the beds, or rather 24 pieces, and not very old newspapers, a fireplace that seems to have been used not so long ago. There were also power cables coming from the upper room. It can be assumed that this creepy cellar was used for something, namely for what? I don't think it's good for anything. Think about why there are so many beds, why there is a fireplace, why this place is so hidden from the surroundings. And until that moment no one knew about it. There is also an entrance hidden under the carpet. What secrets do you keep in the basement? Surprise us in the comments below the video. If you like this episode, be sure to let me know with a like and a comment under this video. Scary was with you. Bye bye. Hello.